And by having the hat on, it'll keep the glare down from your, because with this off, you might. I'll try to have good posture.
You got it.
I first met Coach Holbrook when I was a freshman in 1963. I was a starting halfback on the Central Junior High Cub football team, and we had a good squad, and he came and checked us out. So that's when I first met him.
Is that good? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And this time, if you'll give a little bit of pause after I say it, just so he's got a little bit of editing room.
Okay.
Okay. How has knowing Coach Holbrook affected your life and his leadership? And maybe you want to talk about his leadership
Wait,
style.
that's.
Is that the one you wanted?
No.
You need the sheet?
Well, I don't remember I remember I changed the sequence. I just don't remember
Okay, here, we'll start
them
with-
exactly.
I'm sorry,
So
you're right,
I
you did,
apologize.
and I'm impressed that you came so prepared. So we're going to go with this.
We're going to let you prepare.
Well,
We've done-
talking's not a problem for me. It's the other side that usually gets.
Okay.
Is
Here's the question. Like I said, if you'll repeat it and kind of take a break after take a moment, a pause after I ask you. What makes him a standout, the best coach?
What makes Coach Holbrook the best coach? I think there was a national sports organization that published a meme a while back that said the best coach isn't always the one with the best players or with the highest rankings or with the most wins. The best coach is the one that does more with less, that changes the lives of his athletes for the better, and that teaches character. And Bill Holbrook did that in spades. I think he's the only coach that coached the same sport at both Sooner and College High here in Bartlesville. And he was here in Bartlesville for 3 decades, the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And there are players from all of those decades and both those schools in attendance at this induction dinner tonight. I think in recognition of what he meant in their lives. And so that's why I think he's a standout coach.
Perfect. All right. The next question you have in your order. What memory stands out about competitive nature? And you put forearm shiver.
What stands out to me about Coach's competitive nature, there are probably a lot of things I could put in there, but one that I recall very vividly is back in the 60s, you were allowed to deliver a blow to the head of the opposing player. You can't do that anymore, but Coach Holbrook had this incredibly devastating forearm shiver, and there wasn't anybody on our team that wanted to be the guinea pig for him to demonstrate how to deliver that forearm shiver. And we even had all-state tackles that cowed in fear from his forearm shiver. But even in these late 40s, by then he was still he was still quite fit.
Okay. And scary. Sounds like. Okay. All right. Now, okay. So once again, do the pause. How has knowing him affected your life?
How has knowing Coach Holbrook affected my life? I believe that Coach Bill Holbrook probably had more impact on my personal leadership style in my professional career than any other person. I was a supervisor manager for over 30 years, at one time managing 25 or 30 people and responsible for $120 to $200 million worth of contracts. And I attribute my leadership style, which was never evaluated at less than acceptable and sometimes outstanding, I attribute my leadership style to Bill Holbrook.
Good evening. My name is Travis Wilkie. I played football for 3 years from 1968 to 1970 for Coach Holbrook. It's unfortunate that Coach Holbrook won't be with us tonight. I think Coach Holbrook was the perfect example of what a good coach should be. His players respected him. He was a very humble person. I never saw him lose his temper, although he probably should have at sometimes. His players were not afraid to fail. And Coach Holbrook had a great respect for all of his players, whether they played all the time or they sat on the bench. That was his team. I think the one story about Coach Holbrook that stands out after all these years was when I was a senior, our quarterback, Bill Thomas, and our second team quarterback were both hurt. And so we didn't have a quarterback, and so they asked me to play quarterback for that game. And so we practiced all week, and I had to learn all the plays, and which was pretty tough. But one of the things that we did before the game started was that I wore Bill Thomas's number 12 jersey, and another wide receiver on our team wore my number 13. That was important because Bill was a drop back passer, one of the best in the state. But I wasn't a drop back passer. I rolled out, so it completely changed the game for the other team, and we ended up winning. And after the game, Coach Holbrook fessed up to the other opposing coach and told him what he had done, and that coach thought it was funny. And but at the end of the day, he got reprimanded by the high school association for changing jerseys like that. I know when he found out that he was being inducted into the Bartlesville Hall of Fame that he was excited, humbled, and honored for this award. Thank you so much for honoring Coach Holbrook. I know his family is excited, and I know for sure that a lot of former players feel the same way.
Well, howdy doody. It's good to be with you today. I was wondering for a while if I was going to be able to be here, but here I am, and I guess you're doing good yourself. But I've been going through quite a deal. Funny thing about it, I woke up in the hospital and didn't know where I was for a little bit, but we figured it out, and I can't walk right now. I have to use a wheelchair, and I'm in a facility, a nursing home facility, trying to figure out what's causing all the trouble, and so they can work on it, and I can deal with it also. But other than that, I feel real good, and I just hope that all of y'all are having a great time, and I just want you to know that how much I appreciate all of you over the years, and I do thank you, and I'll carry that to my grave. You just keep the good work, and stay in touch, and I'll let you know what's going on. Thank you.